Welcome back. I'm Jet Ski Chuck, and this is the creepiest, scariest TikTok videos. These disturbing discoveries will have you rethinking your whole reality. Hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure you hit that bell icon and turn notifications to all. Now let's dive in.
You still don't know who the Statue of Liberty actually is? You still don't know what that light she's holding represents? And you just think that pose is accidental? And that we're not living in a time past the 1,000 years when Satan is released from his prisons to go out to deceive the nations? Well, you might not know the time period we're in or who that statue represents, but I know someone that does. And they're trying to send us a sign. A sign that maybe this time of evil we've been living in for a long, long time is coming to an end. A sign to get our discernment ready, because towards the end is when they're going to try their hardest to deceive all the nations and all the people. So it's time you make a decision and decide what side you want to be on. But just be careful, because it's a decision that might last you an eternity.
I always looked at the Statue of Liberty and thought, man, that's fascinating. I want to go see it one day. But what really is it? If you look at it carefully, it looks like the same material that's on top of these old structures. So, who created it? What is it doing? What does it represent? All these questions must get answered. We're going to find out on Dark Waters 9. Let's go.
Have you ever seen pictures of the Statue of Liberty when it was first being built? As a matter of fact, did you know it was originally built in France? The Statue of Liberty is actually a gift from France as a sign of friendship to the United States. For that very reason, you can find several miniature versions of the Statue of Liberty all throughout France. But have you ever seen pictures of the Statue of Liberty when it was first being built? As a matter of fact, did you know it was
Tartarian star forts.
So, I'm beginning to think that these star forts are giant batteries. Case in point, this is Battery Park, New York City. Did they call it Battery Park because this was a giant battery, maybe? Now, New York City used to be called New Amsterdam, and here we are looking at Wall Street, where coincidentally a giant wall ran around the Tartarian-style fortification. It was literally a walled city. It even appears that the Statue of Liberty was built on a pre-existing star fort that was already freaking there. These star fortifications are found all over the world, from North America, South America, Europe, and even Australia. They claim to have been built between 1500 and 1700, but Australia wasn't even founded until 1788. How are these star forts built in Australia then between the 15 and 1700s? The answer is because they're lying. I also believe that these star forts were constructed on areas where ley lines intersect, which would be a massive power source that these quote-unquote batteries could draw power from.
So it's possible that the Statue of Liberty is laying on a ley line on top of a star fort. Okay.
So you want to know about star forts? That's good. That's real good. Alright, listen to this. So star forts have been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Nobody knows who built them. Some say the Tartarians, some say the Moors, but nobody knows for sure. There are many different types. You can get star fort castles, star fort towns, and even star fort cities. And many people don't know this, but the Statue of Liberty is actually built on top of a star fort. Even the Pentagon is shaped like a star fort. So these star forts was built to be a vibrational frequency ecosystem. It gathered and stored natural energy from the ether and the water, a bit like a power station. The technology that they had in the past was so advanced, it's amazing. Imagine if they never had no technology, no satellites. How would you remove the land and replace it with water for it never to grow back again? Just look at the shape and the detail. We sure don't make it like that anymore. So you want to know about starfalls? That's good.
Just look at the precision of these lines and how they were able to put the water in there. This looks exactly like what was beneath the Statue of Liberty. They lying to us, man, about everything.
Are you guys familiar with the star forts in America? These lands belong to the ancient people, and they were great builders. We had advanced technology and electricity back then. But these structures don't just look like stars. Positioned right above these fortresses are stars in the sky. So what I'm saying is, these star forts is lined up directly with the stars. The melanated beings have the wisdom of sacred geometry and mathematics. We are the original bricklayers, and these forts will have rivers and canal systems built with over 5 million bricks. Sometimes we would even dig out a mountain and make that our castle, but we position our castles on big hills. This was important for warfare. You guys have to remember, we had invaders trying to attack us. In the Battle of Jericho, they marched around the walls blowing their trumpets until the wall fell down. This is all in the Bible. These people did this by using the power of sound waves. But our ancient forts was built with the same frequencies of the earth. So instead of destroying these sites, they just moved in them. You guys have to remember, we call them star forts. Are you guys familiar with the star forts in America?
Let's talk about star forts. So what is a star fort? What is the purpose of star forts? Thus, star forts or bastion forts were built as they maximized defensiveness against cannonball impacts and offered better protection and better views of the battlefield for those inside the fort. Well, that's the official narrative. So star forts are these star-shaped, almost like snowflake-shaped type forts or cities. And what's really fascinating, you can find star forts all across our realm, not just in America. I'll show you some example. Here's a star fort in Italy. And according to the narrative, Venetian architect Vincenzo Scamozzi built this 9-pointed star fort in 1593 under the ideals of utopia inspired by Sir Thomas More's Utopia. They even got star forts in Canada. Apparently a Canadian star fort was built in 1749, and the current shape was built in 1846. And today it operates as a historic site. You can also find them in Goryakaku, Japan, and it was built in 1855. Here's an aerial view of that same star fort. Very beautiful and very interesting. Here's a star fort in France, apparently built during the 17th century. Here's a star fort in Copenhagen, built in 1664. Again with that same design and similar shape. Here's a star fort in the Netherlands, one of the most well-preserved examples of a star fort. It apparently was built in 1593. It was converted from a fort to a village in 1851. Another very interesting fact is that the Statue of Liberty is actually on a star fort. Here's the bird's eye view of the Statue of Liberty. Yup, it's on a star fort. So all across our realm, you see these star forts, star-shaped cities. And we're told that their only purpose and design was just as a defense mechanism against enemies. It's almost as if these star forts found all across our realm belonged to a single empire. Maybe one that existed long ago and the current nations living there took over, rewrote history and said, we built these. This is a star fort in Maryland, apparently built in 1798. And it's most well known for the inspiration for the national anthem. So who built these beautiful, intricate, advanced-looking structures in the 1800s and before? Well, let's take a look who they're telling us built these. This is Goryakaku, Japan. Star forts were not limited to the Western world. This example in Japan was built in 1855. Here's the aerial view one more time. And these are the type of people that lived during this time. And according to the narrative, they built it. Same goes for the star fort in Maryland. This is the star fort, and these are apparently the type of people that built that star fort. Horse and buggy people. So I wonder, what was the true purpose of these star cities, these star forts? Here's that really well-preserved star fort in the Netherlands. And these are the types of people that lived during that time. Even architects say that to build that kind of stuff, you need CAD technology, which is apparently something the old world didn't have. Like if we wanted to build star forts today, we would need CAD technology. So how did these horse and buggy people do it? Or did these people just inherit this world, rewrote the history, rewrote who built some of these buildings, and just took over? I don't know. There's a lot of strange, mysterious stuff happening during the 1800s and before. Like the architecture during this time just doesn't really match the horse and buggy type people. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. I do have a YouTube where I talk about this kind of stuff. And we are out. Let's talk about star forts. So what is it?
How they built it, I have no idea, but they definitely found it and moved in, and they made it their home. You guys have any idea how they built it? Who? Let me know in the comments below.
Some Lakota tribes tell a story of their creation at a site called Bedote, meaning where two waters come together. It is the spot between Minneapolis and St. Paul where the Minnesota River meets the Mississippi. There are also many small mounds near this area, and the Lakota tell of this being the site of their creation. They also believe that this exact spot where the rivers meet is the exact center point of Earth. And sure enough, the only star fort in the state is sitting right here. And there are caves all throughout this area as well. This to me is no coincidence. Like the theories say, either they built this star fort here on top of this sacred focal point on Earth for a reason, or possibly some version of it was always here. Star fort or no star fort, this site is extremely interesting, and it is one of many just like it with similar stories. There's something about these star forts that they're built along ley lines or on top of much older sacred sites. Some Lakota tribes tell a story of
Man, I feel like I'm starting to piece it together. The original Indians, the ley lines, these mounts.
A lot of people don't know the original design for the Statue of Liberty was a black female. As a matter of fact, in a museum in New York, you can see the original design of the Statue of Liberty, which is a black woman. When the French artist created the Statue of Liberty, it was supposed to represent the end of slavery. On the original model, there were chains on the hands and feet, as we know. When the statue got to America, they wanted to erase any references to slavery from the statue, but the artist really fought to keep the chains on there because this is your art. You don't want people tampering with your art. And if you look, the chain is still on the foot of the Statue of Liberty to this day.
Well, the story was that it was a gift of the French to the slaves, and that the original statue had the picture of a black woman, the original model for it, and it had a distinctly African face. But it was Europeanized because the people in the United States did not want to have a black face sitting up there in their harbor, so they carved it out. In France, they had to go back to the drawing board and remodel the face after patron saint of Manifest Destiny. So the patron saint of Manifest Destiny, that's her face on the Statue of Liberty, which was transposed from the African face. In fact, you see the patron saint of Manifest Destiny in the symbol for Columbia Pictures at the beginning of the movies. That's the patron saint of Manifest Destiny.
A lot of
The patron saint of Manifest Destiny? Did I hear that right? Let's see if I can find it.
On this day in 1845, John L. O'Sullivan proclaimed in his newspaper that the United States had the divine right to overtake the West, specifically Oregon country. Back in July, he referred to this right as Manifest Destiny, and throughout his early career advocated American hegemony across the continent, including both the Oregon country, jointly controlled with Britain, and Mexico, especially the gold fields in California. This concept was a 19th century version of American exceptionalism, encompassing the theory of divine providence that had destined the American nation to remake the West in its image. Quote, "And that claim is by the right of our manifest destiny to overspread and possess the whole of the continent, which Providence has given us for the development of the great experiment of liberty and federated self-government entrusted to us." This premise became true over the next several years. Texas will become the 28th state in 1845. Much of the Oregon country to parts south of the 49 parallel would be U.S. territory in 1846. And finally, northwestern Mexico would be won as spoils of the Mexican-American War in 1848, rendering America's continental ambitions complete for that time.
Destiny, a belief in America's divine right to expand its territory from sea to shining sea, drove thousands to embark on a perilous journey. But hidden beneath the optimism lay a deadly secret. The westward manifest destiny, a belief in America's divine right to expand its territory from sea to shining sea, drove thousands to embark on a perilous journey. But hidden beneath the optimism lay a deadly secret. The westward expansion came at a devastating cost to the indigenous peoples who had called those lands home for centuries. The deadly secret of manifest destiny was the forced removal, displacement, and extermination of Native American communities. Tragedies like the Trail of Tears saw the forced relocation of thousands, leading to immeasurable suffering and loss of life. The pursuit of manifest destiny became a relentless march of dispossession and violence. As settlers pushed west, conflicts erupted, and the deadly secret of manifest destiny played out on the blood-soaked plains. The impact on Native American cultures was catastrophic, with repercussions felt for generations. As we reflect on the deadly secret of manifest destiny, let us acknowledge the pain and loss suffered by Native American communities.
Man, that is crazy. I see what's going on here. I see. Okay.
This is a parade in Italy. This is a parade in Italy depicting a black woman as the Statue of Liberty, as the matriarch of the land. Everybody knows around the world who are the indigenous people of America. We know the truth now. You know the truth now. This is a parade.
How come nobody's heard about this parade in Italy? This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
You think you from Africa, huh? We got melanated Indians on the wall in the museum in Macon, Georgia, with temples on top of mound pyramids, and you think you from Africa, huh? Let's keep going. We got step mound pyramids tore down in Georgia, and you think you from Africa, huh? Let's keep going. We got whole cities with temples on top of pyramid mounds in Georgia, Macon, Georgia, and you think you from Africa. We got Horus, the Birdman ideology with a fire pit, just like Egyptians, in Georgia, and you think you from Africa, huh? We got pyramid-type structures aligned with Orion's belt in Macon, Georgia, and you think you from Africa. Let's keep going. We got ancient ancestors' bones taken by the government and never shown again, but you think you from Africa, huh? We got ancient irrigation systems just like the Nile River had, but you still think you from Africa. We know the truth now. We know the truth now. We know the truth now here. We know the truth now here. I want to show you that in ancient America, they were doing the same things they were doing in ancient Egypt and ancient Nubia. The altar of fire. He who deserves heaven is to construct a fire altar in the form of a falcon. Now let me show you a fire altar in the form of a falcon inside a mound in America. Let's keep going.
We are inside our Earth Lodge, and we're looking at is the original 1,000-year-old Earth Lodge floor. This is a very interesting structure. There are 50 seats in this room. From the entrance to the door, it comes around in a circle. Each seat is slightly higher and wider than the preceding seat, and 47 seats come up, and then on this bird-shaped effigy are the three main seats. The measurements they use to build this are extremely accurate. It is within a few inches of being a perfect circle. It's the four pillars that held up the ceiling are also within a few inches of being a perfect square. The fire pit is directly in the exact center of the structure. So they indeed did have ways of making some very, very accurate measurements and building these structures.
We know the truth now. We know the truth now here. There were mummies found in Mesa Verde, Colorado. Here's the newspaper clipping. Let's keep going. Corn cobs dried and shrunken almost into nothing. The fact that the corn cobs are prehistoric is proved from the fact that buried with the mummies of the mound builders in the valleys below. Let's keep going. Here's another photo of mummies from Mesa Verde, Colorado. Let's keep going. As you can see, the pottery has the celestial cross, the solar crux, star constellations on the pottery. Let's keep going. There are sun temples there, aligned with Orion's belt. Let's keep going. Structures built aligned with eclipses every 17 or 18 years. This is intellectual knowledge right here in America, people. We know who built it now. Roll the corn. We know the truth now. We know the truth now here.
This is Machu Picchu, aka Jerusalem, found in Peru. This city is shaped like the symbol of Heru. There is a stone altar there that predicts the equinoxes. The stone crest has 4 sides that point in 4 cardinal directions. It predicts the equinox on March 21st and September 21st. What people don't understand is when you find the falcon, you find the altar. Let's keep going.
Machu Picchu, Peru. There is a giant stone at the top of this sacred mountain called Intihuatana, which means the place when the sun gets tied. Amazingly, the stone is perfectly positioned so each corner sits at the 4 cardinal points, north, south, east, and west. Therefore, the stone is a precise indicator of the date of the 2 equinoxes. It's a solar click. So that stone, where they have that, that upright stone right there, is where they have the sun. It'll align just at the right moments for certain times of year, and they can track the sun that way.
We know the truth now.
I'm trying to digest all this. I just feel like I just got my matrix cord just snatched out of me. And it's just like, so you think you from Africa, huh? Hey, I don't think that at all for entertainment purposes. For entertainment purposes, there was definitely people here before this Statue of Liberty spirit overtook the land. If you ask me, for entertainment purposes only, this changes the complete paradigm, because I don't even want to say it, but y'all, if you put the pieces together, they've been lying about a lot. Something went down. Man, shout out to We Know the Truth.
I think he wants us to go with him.
Well, let's go. That was a depiction of Leif the Lucky, a Norse explorer, also known as Vikings. Leif the Lucky has statues all over America. Let's keep going. He was said to arrive in Greenland in North America 500 years before Christopher Columbus. Through historical writing, the Vikings clashed with Indigenous Americans when they landed. Norse Vikings called the inhabitants of America Skrellingi. Let's see what kind of Indians they were. The Strelings may have been Micmac or Boatuk Indians. Let's check out the Micmac Indians. These are artifacts from the Micmac Indians. And they also built megalithic structures. But check this out. The Micmac Indians wrote hieroglyphics. Very, very similar to the Egyptians. And they also wrote about the celestial bear, the star constellations. We know the truth now.
We know the truth now here. Today, I'm gonna teach you the meaning of the Eye of Horus and what the original meaning was before it turned into a religion in Egypt. Let's keep going. The Eye of Horus is a symbol in ancient Egyptian religion. Remember, religion that represents protection, health, and healing. Let's keep going. The religion of Horus started on the Nile River, but where did it come from? The symbolism of Horus evolved into the Birdman. Now let me show you different cultures that got the Birdman so we can move on. Let's keep going. This is Horus, the Egyptian Birdman. Let's keep going. This is the Olmec Birdman. Let's keep going. This is the Mayan Birdman. Let's keep going. This is the Mississippian culture Birdman. You see the cross on the staff in his hand? You see the symbol of Ra right on top of his head? I thought this shit didn't go together. Let's keep going. Now, the staff with the cross represented this star constellation right here. The Sirius star, Orion's belt, and the Pleiades star system. Then you have the symbol of Ra right over the top. It's the same symbolism in America as it was in Egypt. Let's keep going. Mississippian symbolism important to understanding the Birdman iconography. The forked eye surround the motif. That eye is the all-seeing eye. It transferred over to a falcon. Now, that ideology of the Sirius star, or the Eye of Horus, in America transferred to what? The falcon eye. Let's keep going. This is the all-seeing eye, the morning star, the Sirius star, on artifacts found in Alabama. It's the same ideology. Let's keep going. Now, another artifact from Ohio with the hand, with Orion's belt and the Sirius star at the bottom right there. You see it inside the hand? Let's keep going. Here's another artifact with Orion's belt and the Ra symbol right there in the middle of the raccoon on the Mississippian culture's artifacts. We know the truth now. I got more. Let's keep going. And I already showed y'all Orion the Hunter layout on the ground in the Grand Canyon. Cahokia Mound's layout is just like Orion the Hunter in the sky. Winterville Mounds are just like the Pleiades star system. Kincaid Mounds, just like the Pleiades star system. We know what kind of people built these structures. We know the truth now. The Eye of Horus, when you simplify it down, comes from the Sirius star. The deity Horus or Haru is symbolism for the Sirius star. That's where it started. And I just showed you we believed in the same things in America. We know.
Dang, man, this brother messing me up. The Grand Canyon matches the Pleiades star system. It all connects from America. For entertainment purposes only, keep your head on a swivel. Shout out to We Know the Truth Now 1. Man, this was a juicy one, man. If you made it this far, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. Some words of encouragement in the comments really help your boy push through these, man. I appreciate it, man. And as always, man, I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace out.